The desert wind whispers secrets, it has for thousands of years. Out there under the blazing Egyptian sun stand monuments that defy time itself. The pyramids of Giza, they are the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. Think about that for a second. Structures so old, they were ancient even to the ancient Romans. We see them in pictures, on postcards, in movies. But standing before them is a different story. You feel small. You feel the immense weight of history pressing down on you. These aren't just piles of rock. They are a declaration, a puzzle box left for us by a civilization that vanished into the sands, leaving behind a riddle that we are still trying to solve today. Why do they captivate us so much? It's the sheer scale of it all. The Great Pyramid alone is made of more than 2 million stone blocks. Some of them weigh as much as a dozen elephants, and they were put together with a precision that would challenge our modern technology. No mortar, yet you can't slip a credit card between the stones. How did they do it? This question has haunted explorers, historians, and adventurers for centuries. It's the ultimate cold case. When people say the pyramids, they're usually thinking of one place, the Giza Plateau. This is the main event, the Super Bowl of ancient architecture. Right on the edge of modern Cairo, these three colossal structures dominate the landscape. The biggest and most famous is the Great Pyramid of Khufu. It's the heavyweight champion of the world. Originally soaring to a height of 481 feet, it held the record for the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years. That's a long time to be king of the hill. It was built for the pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC, a testament to his power and his place in the cosmos. Next to Khufu's pyramid stands his son's, the Pyramid of Khafra. It looks a little taller from some angles, but that's a clever illusion. It was built on slightly higher ground. Khafra's pyramid is the only one that still has some of its original polished white limestone casing at the very top. Imagine what the whole complex must have looked like back in the day. Not the sandy brown monuments we see today, but gleaming white giants, their peaks possibly capped in gold, reflecting the sun like man-made mountains of light. It would have been a breathtaking, almost blinding sight. And let's not forget the Sphinx, the guardian of the plateau, likely carved with Khafra's face. The third pyramid in the main trio belongs to Pharaoh Menkaure, Khafra's successor. It's significantly smaller, the dwarf of the group, though still a massive undertaking by any standard. Why the downsize? Archaeologists have theories. Maybe the kingdom's resources were dwindling. Maybe they were just getting tired of building giant triangles. Whatever the reason, its construction marked the end of the golden age of pyramid building at Giza. So, how in the world did they build these things? Forget the movie image of whipped slave armies under the hot sun. The evidence tells a different story. Skilled Egyptian laborers built the pyramids. They were organized, well-fed, and respected for their craft. Archaeologists uncovered worker villages near the pyramids' bakeries, breweries, medical facilities. There's evidence workers received medical care, even amputations. You don't do that for a disposable workforce. These were professionals on a national project proud of their work. Their toolkit was simple but effective, no iron or steel. Primary tools, copper stone, copper chisels, copper saws, quarried limestone. For interior granite, dolerite pounders, heavy stone balls, shaped the rock. It was grueling work. To get perfectly flat surfaces, they may have used water-filled channels to find level planes. Simple physics plus manpower. Massive logistics. 20 to 30,000 workers. Divided into crews, friends of Khufu, drunkards of Menkaure. Organized, competitive divisions. State-sponsored, timed with the annual Nile flood. When the river flooded, farming stopped, freeing labor to build the pharaoh's monuments. This is the big one. The question everyone asks. How did they move those massive stone blocks? The average block in the Great Pyramid weighs about 2.5 tons. That's the weight of a pickup truck. But some of the granite blocks used for the king's chamber ceiling weigh up to 80 tons. That's like moving a modern locomotive, and they did it without wheels, cranes, or engines. For a long time, this was one of the deepest parts of the mystery. Theories ranged from simple brute force to some kind of lost ancient technology, but recent discoveries have started to give us some real solid answers. The most widely accepted theory involves a system of sledges and ramps. The heavy stones were loaded onto large wooden sledges. Teams of workers would then pull these sledges over the sand, but pulling a heavy sledge over dry sand is nearly impossible. An ancient tomb painting gives us a crucial clue. It shows a man standing at the front of a sledge pouring water onto the sand in front of it. A few years ago, physicists tested this theory and found that wetting the sand in just the right way reduces the friction by about half. Suddenly, moving a 2.5-ton block becomes feasible for a team of 10 to 20 men. But what about getting the stones up the pyramid? This is where the debate really heats up. Did they use one long straight ramp? Probably not. A ramp reaching the top of the Great Pyramid would have to be over a mile long and would contain more material than the pyramid itself. Why go to all this trouble? Why spend decades and mobilize an entire nation to build these stone mountains? The answer lies at the very heart of the ancient Egyptian worldview, the afterlife. The pyramids were not just tombs, they were resurrection machines. They were complex spiritual engines designed to ensure the pharaoh's successful journey from his earthly existence to his eternal life among the gods. To the Egyptians, death wasn't the end. It was a transition, a dangerous journey through the underworld that, if successful, led to paradise. The pyramid was the pharaoh's best chance at making it. The pharaoh was a divine being, a link between the gods and humanity. When he died, he would ascend to the heavens and join Ra on his daily journey across the sky. The pyramid's shape is symbolic. Some scholars, primeval mound; others, stone ramp; others, stairway to the stars. The structure aligned the pharaoh with the cycles of sun and stars. Inside, everything facilitated the journey. The burial chamber was his eternal home, filled with what he'd need: food, furniture, weapons, jewelry, board games, later pyramids, walls covered in spells. The pyramid texts. For centuries the Great Pyramid held its secrets tight. Tomb robbers tunneled their way in, plundering treasures. Still, the pyramid's internal structure stayed mysterious. It's not a solid mass of stone. Inside is a network of passages and chambers that are an engineering marvel. Enter through the modern tourist entrance, a tunnel carved by treasure hunters, and you descend into the bedrock. Then you climb the narrow, claustrophobic ascending corridor. It's a tight squeeze. That leads into the Grand Gallery, a high, sloping corridor, long and steep, with polished limestone walls angled perfectly and a ceiling that soars 28 feet. The craftsmanship is staggering. No one knows its true purpose. Just a grand hallway, a functional space during construction, maybe to store massive granite blocks used to seal passages. Its acoustic properties are incredible. A single sound can echo forever. At the top, you reach the king's chamber, a granite masterpiece, simple and rectangular, unadorned. Only a lidless sarcophagus sits inside. The sarcophagus is wider than the entrance. It had to be placed during construction. No discussion of the pyramids would be complete without diving into the deep end of the pool. The mysteries of Giza have attracted more than their fair share of wild theories, and some of them are pretty out there. The most famous, of course, is the idea that ancient aliens built the pyramids. Proponents argue the Egyptians didn't have the technology to build such massive, precise structures. They point to the pyramid's alignment with the star's Orion's belt. It's a fun idea, but archaeologists say there's zero evidence for it. Modern science, however, is giving us new ways to explore these wild ideas without moving a single stone. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project used muon tomography, which uses cosmic rays to detect voids to scan the Great Pyramid. They made a stunning announcement. They had detected a massive, previously unknown void, at least 100 feet long, located right above the Grand Gallery. They named it the Big Void. What is it? A hidden chamber? A structural feature? An internal construction ramp? Nobody knows for sure, but its discovery proved the pyramid still has major secrets to reveal. The Great Pyramid remains the ultimate puzzle.